I got to play Sea of Remnants early. Do you guys want to take a sneak peek? Come on, let's go. Sea of Remnants is an ocean fantasy open world action RPG by Joker Studios and NetEase Games. This game is focused on sea exploration, action adventure RPG with turn-based combat and really immersive storytelling. I was lucky enough to get in on an early access preview of the game to do a little bit of a playtest, and let me say straight up off the bat, this game looks absolutely stunning. So good, in fact, everything you see here is in-game capture, and I believe all the trailers and everything like that are in-game capture as well. So this game looks absolutely incredible. You start off in the middle of the ocean where you're in a little rowboat, right? And there's like this strong sense of mystery. Not everything is apparent, and it really makes you want to dive deep into the mystery. The storytelling is absolutely incredible in this game. So I don't want to give anything away, but it has a really ominous sort of mysterious through line through the story where if you fall into the ocean, you lose all your memories, right? So when you swash back up, it's onto you to rebuild your memories and things like that. That's sort of the crux of the game. So there's this story that's going on, but then it's injected with so much fun and swashbuckling adventure, and all the characters are really interesting. All the animations are absolutely incredible. Now, this is one of the best looking games I've seen in ages, and on my 6800 XT, this game ran flawlessly. I had a really great time with it, so I had no complaints mechanically there or anything like that. It ran stable for me. I've got a pretty decent system, but I had a really great time. So I think if you've got a relatively modern system, you are going to have a great time with this game. Orbtopia is the main world of Sea of Remnants. It acts as the main hub where you can go drinking, where you can stash all your treasure, you can find costumes and uniforms and all that sort of stuff. You can deck out your pirate ship, and there are a ton of NPCs in this game. There are so many characters in this game that it's absolutely ridiculous. Everywhere you go in Orbtopia, everyone has a name, and it looks like they're supposed to be there, and it looks like they're doing something important. It feels lived in. It really gives you a sense of style. Imagine Hook meets Zelda the Wind Waker meets Sea of Thieves with a neon funk Pinocchio aesthetic. This game is dripping with style, and I love it. Visually, it's got this really like neon funk style, which I absolutely adored, but it's also a little bit unsettling. There's just something about it that makes you just want to look at it. Another big thing this game's got going for it is the sound design. The music in this is absolutely fantastic. Whether it is running around in Orbtopia or, you know, in the battle system and things like that, the menus, it has a really funky sort of sound design to it. I really enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed playing it. So very early on in the game, I got to answer some player choice questions, which felt very sort of subtle rather than on the nose. Like, it's not sort of a BioWare system where an asterisk comes up and it says, they will remember that. It's sort of more implied, or it's spoken. The characters will mention one of your choices, which feels a lot more natural. It doesn't feel like that you need to sit there and stress about what your choice is going to be. It's more about the actions that you take, which felt really cool actually. I was really happy with that. I got the sense that my choices matter, but I'm not going to be bogged down by them, which was cool to see. Hey, just want to jump in here and say, if you're enjoying any of the content on Computer Games Hardware, please chuck us a like, share and subscribe. Watching the videos really helps me out, guys. Big thank you to everyone who's purchased a t-shirt from the Computer Games Hardware store at computergameshardware.myshopify.com. You can get one of these awesome component t-shirts, or you can get our desk mat, which has the component design on it as well. Comes in 3 different sizes and it's absolutely awesome. This one's just come in today. You can also see me at the Game Expo on the 14th and the 15th of March. I'm going to be there roaming around, so come and say hi. We're going to be talking to the developers, testing out some games, and just having a real good time. So if you want to come and say hi, I'll see you there, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. I was really impressed about how cool the character creator was. You actually feel like you're Geppetto creating your very own Pirate Nokia. It's very cool, and there's surprisingly a lot of choice here. So there's already a ton of variety here. You've got facial expressions, different characters, hairstyles, and all that sort of stuff. But the developers also mentioned that there's going to be different body modifications, sizes and shapes and stuff like that as well. So there's more to come at launch. This is an open world that encourages curiosity as much as it does completion. The game's really great at keeping you on your current objective and not bombarding you with stuff to do. But you do at times get distracted and notice the overwhelming amount of things to do. It's just not on the map. You find it within the menus, in the progression systems, in all the mini games, all over the interface. So I'll get to that in a minute. Thankfully, I was able to ignore all that stuff and just focus on getting through a lot of the main story. In my little early access preview, if you just follow the main objective on your top compass, it will point you in the right direction mostly. And actually, some of the more interesting things I found in my little playtest weren't on the map at all. I found them just wandering around, talking to different characters and finding new things to do. So that was pretty cool as well. Here's where I got completely overwhelmed with the number of mini games, side quests, mini bosses. Game systems is just absolutely overwhelming. I love the style of this game, but once you're digging through the menus and trying to understand how to level up or learn one of the many new systems thrown at you early, everything can just become a little bit of a blur. Worsened a little bit by the fact that there's some formatting issues, translation issues and stuff like that. A lot of the things didn't make sense all the time. I kept having to read and reread over either game tutorials, tips and stuff like that just because it wasn't immediately making sense to me. There was also some formatting issues within the game where things popped up and you can't read them, or there's text that's cut off and stuff like that. So there's clearly some points of improvement there, but this is an early access game, so I believe it's in alpha at the moment. So it's an ocean adventure action RPG. So you've got the overworld where, you know, you've got to learn navigating the map and learning all the little ins and outs of the world, where everyone is, if you need to go to the shop, or, you know, you need to buy equipment and things like that. Then there's seafaring, where, you know, you need to learn the systems around, you know, getting on the open seas using the battle system, stuff like that. You know, how do you repair your ship and things like that. There's also a whole bunch of mini games on land and on sea. Then you have to learn the combat systems, and usually I'm a little bit of a menu junkie. I love spending my time doing resource management and stuff like that, but this really had me like ignoring all that stuff and just playing the main objective, because it was just getting to the point where I would get lost in the systems for hours on end and not have done what I was initially like hitting the menu button to do. Let's talk about the combat real quick. So, Sea of Remnants has a few different types of combat. The main one that you're going to encounter is turn-based action combat. Then you've got the naval seafaring combat, as we mentioned earlier, and then in the overworld you have sort of third-person hack and slash combat that you see in Orbtopia and all the surrounding islands. Now, unlike all the other systems, early turn-based combat fights really do a good job of teaching you how the systems interact. Look, it's not reinventing the genre here, but the way it blends the mechanics feels cohesive instead of sort of like stitched together. Turn-based combat is full of style, and this is one of those systems that games takes the time to really explain to you. There was a bit of input latency within the game, however, and you really notice it here, but overall I had a really good time with it, and it was easily my favorite part of the game. So guys, I literally stopped streaming Expedition 33 to take part in this playtest. So is the combat like genre bending game of the year type innovative? Not really. But having said that, I really had a good time with the gameplay style in this game. It's dripping with style. It's really fun. The turn-based combat has great animations, good battle progression, and fun enemies. I won't spoil anything, but I had a ton of fun with the early characters you get to play with. You have all the traditional RPG types here. In my playthrough, the captain is melee, RS is your long-range girl. She throws potions and stuff like that with her little unicorn, and the nun is a healer.
Head spinning. Prophecies won't stop! Way. Barbecue time. Let's settle this. Once and for all!
Guys, the swashbuckling pirate naval combat is really awesome too. Really early on, you have like a mini boss battle with an ape type character that goes from turn-based combat right into like action naval cannon fodder. It is really fun and I was really impressed with it. I really like how the game transitions you into naval battle. It feels natural and fun. Aiming the cannons feel good and weighty. The cannons have like a great arch for the cannonballs, and you can play it in like a third-person view or get right into the action in a first-person view. It's really good and fun. You get a cool view of the ship that way. I had a great time with it. Now, this is also a NetEase game, so some of my fellow content creators raised the question of the battle pass, the gacha systems and monetization and stuff like that. The developers have come out and said that there is no play to win. That's all cosmetic. I was able to just play through and get through a chunk of the game without even knowing that was there. I actually saw that criticism from my fellow creators and said, oh, let me go look at that. I better mention that in my video. So it's something that you can completely ignore and you can just play the quest really straight. If you don't want to venture into the menus, you're gonna probably have a hard time going into the end game or whatever, but you can progress fairly stably through my playtest anyway without getting too bogged down. And that's it, guys. I had a really great time with this game. Sea of Remnants is ambitious, dripping with style. It's really fun, and it's got this really mysterious element to it that just makes you want to keep playing. While things can get a little bit overwhelming, the swashbuckling fun and adventure just kept me going back for more despite any of the little inconsistencies. So with a little bit of polish, I think this thing's going to be the pirate adventure that a lot of people have been looking for over the last few years. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I had a really great time playing Sea of Remnants. I hope you guys had a good time watching, so check this one out when it launches. Thanks for watching. See you next time.